The lights rise slowly, and before you even realize it, you're leaning closer to your screen. Imagine this for a second. What if the voice everyone laughed at, the voice no one believed in, turned out to be unforgettable? Stay with this story until the end, because what happens on that stage doesn't just shock the judges, it changes a life forever. And if stories like this move you, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel, because moments like these deserve to be shared. He stood alone in the long AGT audition hallway, palms damp, heart pounding so loudly it felt like the cameras could hear it. His name was Miguel Reyes, a quiet man in his early 30s from a small Filipino neighborhood where dreams often stayed dreams. Growing up, Miguel didn't look like a star. He wasn't tall, flashy, or confident. He worked long shifts fixing motorcycles during the day, singing softly to himself only when he thought no one was listening. Every time someone heard him mention Elvis Presley, they smiled politely, or worse, laughed. "You don't sound like Elvis," they'd say. Be realistic. But music had been his refuge since childhood. His father used to play old Elvis records on a worn-out radio late at night after work, humming along while Miguel sat on the floor, memorizing every note. When his father passed away, those songs became memories he clung to, echoes of comfort in an otherwise heavy world. Singing wasn't about fame for Miguel. It was about keeping something alive. Walking toward the AGT stage, doubt crept in with every step. He remembered friends who told him not to embarrass himself, neighbors who warned him Simon Cowell would tear him apart. Even the production crew looked uncertain when he said he'd be singing Elvis. Miguel could feel it, the disbelief hanging in the air before he'd even opened his mouth. The stage lights hit him like a wave. The audience blurred into shadows. The judges sat there, unreadable. Simon leaned back, arms crossed, that familiar expression that said, "Impress me, or don't waste my time." Miguel introduced himself softly, his accent slipping through his nerves. When Simon asked why he chose Elvis, Miguel swallowed hard and said, "Because his songs remind me of home, and my father." A pause followed. The kind that feels longer than it really is. Some people in the audience exchanged glances. This was the moment where expectations were low, dangerously low. The music began. At first, Miguel's voice was gentle, almost fragile. Then something shifted. The tone deepened. The rhythm settled into his chest. And suddenly, it wasn't a man trying to sing like Elvis, it was a man who felt every word. His voice carried warmth, grit, and soul, rolling through the theater with an unexpected power. The audience stirred. Heads lifted. Eyes widened. Simon leaned forward. As the song built, Miguel closed his eyes, letting go of fear. He wasn't on a competition stage anymore. He was a child again, sitting beside his father, feeling safe. The vibrato, the phrasing, the control, it was all there, natural and unforced. Gasps rippled through the crowd. Someone in the audience covered their mouth. By the chorus, people were already standing. Simon's expression changed completely. Shock replaced skepticism. His mouth fell slightly open as he whispered something under his breath, eyes locked on the stage. When the final note rang out, the silence lasted half a second, then the room exploded. A standing ovation thundered from every corner of the theater. Miguel opened his eyes, stunned. For a moment, he didn't know if the applause was real. Tears blurred his vision as cheers echoed his name. He looked at the judges, hands shaking. Simon spoke first. "I'm going to be honest," he said. "The second you said Elvis, I rolled my eyes. I really did." The audience laughed nervously. Simon paused, then smiled. "But that was one of the most genuine performances we've heard this season. You didn't copy Elvis. You honored him." Miguel broke down. The other judges praised his authenticity, his heart, his courage. One of them said, "This is what this show is about, people who are underestimated, then remind us why music matters." When the votes came in, it was unanimous. Yes. 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 Backstage, Miguel collapsed into tears, overwhelmed by what had just happened. For the first time in his life, the world had listened. In the weeks that followed, his story spread everywhere. Clips of his audition went viral. People who once doubted him shared his performance with pride. Messages poured in from strangers saying his voice reminded them of loved ones they'd lost, moments they'd forgotten. Miguel returned home to his neighborhood not as a celebrity but as proof that belief can be louder than doubt. And standing in his small room one night, Miguel played an old Elvis song on the radio, smiling through tears. He whispered, "We did it, Dad." So if you've ever been told you're not good enough, if you've ever held back because someone didn't believe in you, remember this moment. Sometimes the world needs to hear your voice even if it takes longer than you hoped. If this story touched you, make sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel. You never know whose dream might be waiting for one moment, one song, one chance to be heard.